day Israel, they have the most extreme practices and customs and rules for how women dress of like any Jewish movement in Israel. Like they are so froom when it comes to how women dress. I mean, they
Where?
are.
In Israel?
Yeah, the Rav Kook followers.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're like
funny.
Yeah, because Rav Kook was like so traditional or so hard on women and them knowing their place, and that they cover up every inch of flesh, and yeah, it's quite interesting. So those who follow Rav Kook, like a lot of people who don't know much, they go, "Oh, Rav Kook, believes in loving all Jews," and they don't realize how froom, how religious, how strict Rav Kook was in so many areas. And so, like a lot of people go, "Oh, there are good rabbis and bad rabbis, and the good rabbis are the ones who are lenient." So, for instance, on abortion, you'll find great rabbis, such as, I'm not sure if it's Moshe Feinstein, but some who are very strict on abortion, but also Gedolim who are pretty lenient on abortion. And when it comes, but the same rabbi, same great rabbi is very lenient on abortion, will completely prohibit almost all plastic surgery. And the rabbi who's like very strict against abortion will be very lenient on permitting plastic surgery. So, like you'll hear the Rav Kook, loves all Jews, but he'll be unbelievably strict, in other areas. So too with many of the great rabbis, they will be unbelievably lenient in some ways, and they'll be unbelievably strict in others. And you can't just go, "Oh, Rav Kook's my man," and think that you're on easy street.
So what do you think? What do you think of modern Orthodoxy?
So I spent most of my time in Judaism, in modern Orthodox Judaism. I do not like feminism. So there's a lot of feminism in the left wing of modern Orthodoxy, and I don't like that. I'm also right wing in my politics, and modern Orthodoxy, particularly the left wing, is left wing in its politics. So, on the other hand, I got a lot of friends there, and I like modern Orthodox Jews. In many ways, they will live their lives indistinguishable from non-Orthodox Jews. Like if you saw a modern Orthodox Jew, you wouldn't, most of the time, you wouldn't know that he's Orthodox. Like you may not even see many of them don't wear their yarmulkes to work. They only wear their yarmulkes at shul. They have TVs at home. They'll go to movies. They'll eat dairy out. So, I'm not always the most religious guy. So in many ways, I feel very comfortable with the modern Orthodox because, in many of my religious observances, I'm not so strict, and it's kind of a relief to be with people who aren't so strict. Like if they want to watch a great rugby match that's taking place in South Africa, on Shabbos, they'll walk over to a friend. They'll have the TV on in the basement, so they'll just walk down and watch the TV without turning it on Shabbat. And
I can find frummies that do that as well. I can find anyone again. That's germane. That like I said, the difference is, right, is anyone going to stand up and argue that that's okay according to Torah?
No one's going to stand up and argue that's okay.
That's the difference.
But the other thing I like about the modern Orthodox is that they're all either doctors, lawyers, accountants, or professors. Like, they're very rarely manual laborers. Like, these guys are really well educated. And I enjoy, in many ways, being around really well educated people. People who've studied Shakespeare and studied great literature, and they subscribe to the New Yorker, and they're conversant with cultural and political and philosophical and theological trends. Like they're knowledgeable about the wider culture, and they're adept at navigating it, and they're very successful. The other thing I love about the modern Orthodox is that they rarely go around asking for handouts. Like the modern Orthodox don't go to the traditional Orthodox shuls, for shacharit and go around, asking for handouts. But if you have a daven in a modern Orthodox shul, you will be bombarded by these traditional Orthodox Jews coming in asking for handouts, while you're davening. Modern Orthodox Jews don't do that. Modern Orthodox Jews put a big premium on hard work, getting a good secular education, and earning your way in the world. And I respect and appreciate that.
Okay. How much trouble do you think I'm going to get into for what I've said?
None, because he's going to give you a hard time.
Because we live in a modern Orthodox neighborhood.
I know, but no one cares.
Yeah.
People think we're a bunch of wackos. They're not, oh, how dare Levi, or how dare Rabbi Rags criticize modern Orthodox. They're relieved we're not talking about pornography. Thank God they're not talking about porn.
I also want to make a chilek,